Decent for We the People News. Alrighty, the first video was interview with James Freeman, and the people that he is talking about at that interview is the video of now. Okay, so you're only going to get to see part of the video here, right? So put two and two together for a second. And I think I remember seeing this many years ago, or a couple of years ago, or a year ago or so, okay? I think the guy actually challenged jurisdiction. And remember, when you challenge jurisdiction, y'all, the Supreme Court did say they have to answer. And judges never answer it. They are breaking their own laws, alright? And since she wanted to press forward on this without giving an answer of the jurisdiction, she is in contempt of court, which he called her out on. Alright, but you're not going to see that beginning part, right? She's going to press on to this and do as she wishes. She is a queen. Okay? She absolutely has sovereign immunity. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They call it absolute immunity, but no, it's sovereign immunity.
Ms. Taya Graham, and welcome to the Police Accountability Report. As I always try to make clear,
I gotta finish this. I'm not an attorney, don't care to be attorney. Alright? I never look straight forward. Always look around me, for the outside forces may want to commit harm upon me. Alright? This is a learning video. Okay? And I'm not a doctor, just in case anything such comes up. Okay? Alright.
Show has a single purpose: holding the politically powerful institution of policing accountable. And to do so, we don't just focus on the bad behavior of individual cops. Instead, we also examine the system that makes bad policing possible. And today, we're going to achieve this goal by telling the story of a man who faced a $1 million bail for a Facebook post, and what his case says, not just about policing, but a critical facet of our criminal justice system that does not get the attention it deserves. Namely, the judges and prosecutors who make the system run. But before I get started, I want you watching to know that if you have evidence of police misconduct, please email it to us privately at par@therealnews.com, and we might be able to investigate for you. And of course, you can always message me directly at Taya's Baltimore on Facebook and Twitter. And please like and share and comment on our videos. It really does help us. And we now have a Patreon account called Accountability Reports. So if you have a few dollars to spare, it would really help us keep doing these investigations for you. So please look for the link pinned in the comments below. Okay, we've got all that out of the way. Let's get started. Now, of course,
Okay, before we start any further. So this is the Real News Network. Alright, look her up. She does a really good job. Okay? So, you guys look her up and check out her videos.
Goes without saying, the name of the show is the Police Accountability Report, and thus our focus is usually on the police. But today, we're going to examine a branch of our criminal justice system that, as I mentioned before, does not get as much attention, but is just as problematic. And you, our viewers, have asked us to take a look at this. I'm talking about the judiciary of our sprawling law enforcement industrial complex. In some sense, it's far more powerful than the cops we see misbehaving on video, partially because much of the work that judges and prosecutors do happens in courtrooms and behind closed doors, work not subject to the same level of scrutiny facing officers on the street. In fact, the entire process of deciding who to prosecute and why can often be a mystery even to those charged with a crime. And that leads to obstacles when attempting to hold judges and prosecutors accountable. Just a short thought experiment. Think of how often you've heard of a police officer being disciplined or put on administrative leave or fired for malfeasance or corruption. Now think of how many times you've heard of a judge being disciplined, placed on leave, or fired. I'll wait. It's not easy, is it? As this report in Colorado judges found, the system for keeping judges in line is insular and not transparent. It also found that behavior went unpunished because, put simply, judges were judging other judges. Of course, I bring up Denver because holding the judiciary accountable was one of the most pressing topics for auditor and cop watcher Eric Brandt, a controversial activist whose admittedly offensive comments to judges netted him 12 years in prison. But that does not detract from the fact that Eric and his supporters spent years exposing problems with Colorado's judicial system, and many say those efforts had more to do with why he is now sitting in jail with a length of sentence often reserved for murderers or rapists. Which brings us to another case involving the country's judiciary, which just recently came to our attention. It involves a man.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. And probably not going to make another video. But yes, okay. We keep on talking about, and Black Lives Matter, if you ever see this, quick just going after the officers. You know, the judges are the ones, and the prosecutors are the ones saying yay or nay. They're the ones doing the final charges and this, that, here, and there. Our conviction rate is 98, 99% because of all the freaking pleas. Alright? Which is back with James Freeman video interview, right? Everything has to do with the plea. Which on some of my videos I talked about do not make pleas, right? Alright, I don't know how long this would be, and I didn't want the last one to be as long as this one. So I may cut it off short on this one. But, yeah, that's 6 minutes in. We're going to probably go cut it off on this one, just to kind of give an idea. I'm deciding which way to go with this, alright? Because this point right here is what I want to really talk about, alright? And, like she said, like James Freeman said, you know, Eric Brandt, you know, use wrong words, but it has to be backed up with facts or whatever he said, right? And since he never was violent to anybody, now if he had past records of being violent against others, then they can actually consider that into a legit deal, right? But if it's never been any type of actions instead of words, then we go back into it's a free speech area. Talked about it many times ago. You know, I can yell out fire in a movie theater. That's free speech. Alright? As long as people don't run out and trampled on and anybody didn't get hurt. That made it a crime because it was a cause of action. Alright? But if I yell out fire in the movie theater and everybody just sat there and kept watching the movie, no harm was done. That would still be under free speech and could not be charged for it. Alright? Because it did not follow up with action. That's the difference. Right? And we just gotten it so misconstrued on that one example of fire in the building. So whatever that free speech really says, it does have to follow up with action. Until then, it's free speech all the way to that point. People trampled on that building, that was action, people was harmed. If everybody just sat there and watched the movie, then there was no harm, no action, free speech. That was it. Alright. I'm going to make another video of this, just so I quit making it so long. Diesel for We the People News. Bye, y'all.